that's it for what I've been playing. How about yourself, man?
Cool, man. So I've been playing the PC port of God of War 2018, uh, Dad of War, as it is often referred to.
Yeah, that's what I called it.
Um, and this game's, I mean, newsflash, this game's really good. Um, I really enjoyed it. I knew I would, and back in 2018, it won a bunch of awards, um, game awards for best story and best overall and all that stuff. I'm not even quite 9 hours in. I've done a couple of extra stuff, so I would be further along probably in the story if I had just gunned it. But that's a testament to kind of how good some of the puzzles are. That they do a good job of leading you and like putting the puzzles that you don't have to do right there as you're going along. So you're like, oh, I can just do this one real quick, And so it's good for that stuff. The story is good so far. I know it gets there's more to it. I'll just say, but I haven't gotten to those places yet. So a little bit about me and God of War in general as a series. I didn't play them much growing up. Um, they were rated M, and I wasn't allowed to play M-rated games. When I could,
Oh, bad.
I know, dude. It's like just stupid. And then the games that would be rated M, like Halo, was rated M because of like alien blood and like a little bit of like human blood. I was like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. But when I did finally get to play them at friends' houses and stuff for a little bit, those old God of War games, I didn't really like them. They were like really like the term button mashy doesn't really fit, but it's like in the truest sense of the word, like you had to hit the same button like 50,000 times to make something happen. You're like, oh, like that. And I get it, but I didn't like that. I didn't find that entertaining as much as I played it. Maybe if I had time to play it more, I would have enjoyed it. I also didn't like Kratos back then, as he just wasn't really a likable character to me. The games didn't catch me straight away. So I didn't really appreciate them back then. But I always heard people say, "Oh, they're so good. Oh, it's so good." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So this God of War, I've been wanting to play it for a long time, but I didn't have a PlayStation. Um, so I was really glad to pick this up. Just a little bit on the PC port aspect of it. It's seemed good to me so far. I haven't had any problems to speak of, except for one time I opened it up and it was stuttering really bad, and then I realized I had DaVinci Resolve open, and I was like, I bet that is probably taking up too many resources. So I closed that and immediately the stuttering went away. So I don't even count that as a point against it, just something that happened. It looks good. It plays well. They've been doing a couple patches. They've done at least probably three since I got it. Right when it came out, and those have been, I guess, for like it's good that they're supporting it. I guess is what I want to say with that. Um, yeah, man. Like I think it does a really good job story wise, as I've seen so far, of humanizing this mindless brute without without giving up the farm of, like, so to speak, of like Kratos being a hard man to know, and without giving up his toughness, without giving up kind of really his one dimensionality. Like they really do a good job of being like, this is a one dimensional dude, and we're gonna show, or at least he tries to be that way. That's what he thinks he is, and we're gonna show you that he's not. And so I'm excited to play the rest of it. I'm probably gonna have to gun it through the story and just quit playing around with any of the extra stuff, because there's a lot of games coming out that I really want to play. So I don't know how much further I'm gonna get in this. I do want to get through the story. I do. I will go ahead and commit to getting through the story because it should only be about 20 hours is what I read on how long to beat. So hopefully I'm about, a little over a quarter of the way through, at the very least, and can see it because I know I've heard that it's really good.
Yeah, I found the game totally worth going through to the end, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did get the platinum. The only real challenge I had was um, there's an optional boss fight essentially, which I won't say anything so it won't spoil. But it was that one was kicking my teeth in. That was brutal. It took a long while. I had to respec because they do have leveling up elements or to a certain extent. So I had to change some stuff up, and when I a couple times, and eventually I got like, but yeah, it's like, and then you start memorizing the patterns to a certain bit. But that was just an option. It's literally an optional boss fight. Most people don't get to it until after they beat the game, anyways. I did it beforehand just because I was stubborn that way, and that game though is really good. It's I played it on the PS4, and it was, yeah, you should at least very minimum see the story through, especially since the new one's coming out. But they, yeah, about his one dimensionality. Yeah, they do the whole, you know. I'm trying to be a tough dad, and I'm gonna slowly try to put my hand on your shoulder. Oh, I pull away. Nope, it's I can't. I can't show my softness. I'm too hard for that. And
Yeah,
oh,
but
I mean,
they do it like twice really early on, and they haven't done it in a while. And I mean, it is a little bit like, I guess, in your face, but it's also, I don't know, it worked for me. I think.
don't just there's a little bit in the second act where the child acts like a brat, and so you're like, just make it past that. Like, it's a little hump. You're like, okay, yeah, I get it, kid.
I think I'm in that part right now because he's getting a little snarky. We're down below in this really dark area that we've gone through before, but it's dark now and there's different puzzles and stuff. So, and he's being like kind of a little brat, but it's also kind of merited, I think.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And that's, like I said, the writing in it's just solid. And they do one of the best things is, like, when they do side tangents, like, you're rowing the boat and let's kill some time by telling a story, and then you make it to your spot, or something happens. Well, next time you go there, they'll be like, okay, where did we leave off? All right, and then they actually continue. I'm like, oh, that's great, because I always hate that. And then, like, an open world game or something like that, where they're in the middle of talking, and then all of a sudden something comes up, and then they just stop. I'm like, and then you'll never, like, get to hear that little quip or story ever again. So they do a good job of continuing where they left off.
Yeah, they really do. It's it's probably the best way that you can handle that. It is a little awkward sometimes, but I don't know of a better way to handle it because sometimes I just they'll be in the middle of a story and I'll be pressing B to pull up to the shore, and it'll really, pull like, shut the fuck up, and then go on. But they do it the best way you possibly could, I think. The battle system was messing me up. I mean, I'm not playing it on. There's like a bunch of different settings. There's like give me a story. There's like regular. There's like hard, and there's like this is God of War. Well, I'm playing on like regular,
Hmm.
and it's, the battle system was messing me up early on. Uh, but I kind of got it figured out now. I now that I've kind of spec'd more to be properly and kind of memorized what I need to be hitting. Um, I will say that when there's like a yellow circle that comes up whenever someone's about to strike you, and you can block their hit or something like that, and I get that like a third of the time, but there's a good portion of the time where I'm like, I feel like I hit that and it's not giving it to me. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not particularly good at games, so I guess it's my fault. I just need to get better at it. But how did you feel about that? Did you feel like the combat was ever, I don't know, less than perfect?
Uh, I found the combat was better than it had been in the God of War series. I felt. I honestly, I don't. I beat one and two. I don't think I ever actually beat three. And I played whatever one for the PSP, I think, or some crap like that. Um, so I've played most of them. Button mashy is close to how you would describe it. Um, because it's just the even opening the chest, because it's all about the rage, and so you'd have to smash X just to flip open a chest in the originals. So this was handled far better than any of the others. I honestly don't remember having a particularly difficult time with the combat. Um, I've also played a few more games that are in the same vein
Mhm.
at the time more recently, so that's like, all right, it wasn't really out of the wheelhouse. I'm like, okay, this is our the combat was just solid. I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel like anything was working against me, I should say.
It,
But
it,
also, I don't remember anything being particularly I remember the story by the end of the day. I honestly don't remember much about the combat. It was
okay.
forgettable,
Yeah.
except for that last boss fight. That was like once again kicking my teeth in.
I think I must have just needed to kind of respec because by the time I got to the lake, I was, I was able to beat some of the normal enemies, but they did do quite a bit of damage. Um, anyway, and then I was clicking on, or I was touching this like black, you know, orb cloud, and it would open up and bring out like these three enemies that were really hard. And I didn't realize for the longest time that I didn't need to engage with those. Like they were some kind of bonus thing. And so,
Yeah, so there's literally going to be ones that you pull out, and if you do it early on, insta death, just like one hit and you're done.
okay, well,
So
good then.
just wait, just don't be afraid to run away from those, yeah,
Yeah.
or just reload and just be like, I'll come back to you later, because that's what happened to me. Is I did the same thing because I'm stubborn and I like to try to go, like even if it was like one of them was a 2-man team and they were just brutal, and I'm like, I'm gonna beat my face into this wall because I'm gonna beat you while being under leveled, and I don't think I ever did. And then of course then when I came back later, I'm like, okay, now I have to do all of these because I have to prove that I'm better than this game.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, for that section, I would have appreciated it if, the kid said like, cause he'll help you sometimes with like, with information, kind of suggesting stuff to you. I kind of wish he had said like, um, hey, we could do this later, or we should do this later. Just so you are like, oh, the game doesn't, this is an extra challenge. The game wants me to backtrack too.
He wouldn't listen to the boy.
Well, yeah, I guess I suppose that story wise, there is one part where I did backtrack, and I thought it was where I was supposed to be going, and it ended up being useful because I was able to open up some chests and stuff that I hadn't been able to get to before. But as we go back, the kid says like, there's no way through this way," and then or like, "We're not supposed to be going this way," or something. And then Kratos goes, "I know that." It's like, okay, that's very well handled, very well handled. Excellent
Yeah,
game. Definitely am enjoying it so far. And I will hopefully be able to play the rest of it at some point and check back in.
that voice actor is the guy from he's in Stargate SG-1. He's the alien on their team, and I can't remember his name now, both of the character or the actual actor. Yeah, he has the emblem in the forehead.
Yeah.
So it's funny though because I'll call to my son and I'll yell at I'll call his name or something that he just will not pay attention to me. Then I yell out "boy," and he turns around and looks at me. I'm like, it works.
That's so funny. That's too good. Okay.